Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the whole damn channel, and jingle that bell for notifications. We have reached the finale of the Texas Swing at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson in McKinney, Texas. It's kind of a lackluster field, but we're going to have fun. We're going to win some money betting on it. We actually might know what we're talking about this week instead of the crapshoot last week. Let's hit it. Conor Coughlin at Cough DFS. Yeah, I of course am Bo McBrayer at Bo_Mick Big Time. The 19th hole, as always, live. We got windy early, occasionally punctual windy early. It's on time for the latest show we've ever had. That goes to show that windy is early when we're late. Love to see it. Royal Slade from up there in Calgary, Alberta. Shout out to our Canadian fellas. There, evening fellas. And Wendy is saying hi to Royal. All right, we got our usual suspects. We got some new ones in the chat. Fire it up. Let us know what you think about the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. CJ Cup by itself sounds like a golf tournament, but it's not. The Byron Nelson is the golf tournament. Used to be the AT&T Byron Nelson. AT&T, of course, a big Texas company. Big Texas. Everything's big in Texas, including the companies.
You know, I'm from Texas.
You are? I thought you were from Colorado.
No, well, I was born in Plano, Texas.
Holy crap. You learn something new every day. I thought you were born in like Denver or Colorado Springs or something like that.
No, I just tell everybody I'm from Denver. It's easier to explain.
Yeah, I was born in Plano, Texas, and I escaped.
Immediately. Pretty much immediately.
That's good. Well, I am from NorCal. Shout out. And I still live in NorCal.
Hold on. To be clear, where are you from?
NorCal.
I'm telling you, you learn something new every day.
I need to hit this vape so I don't cough as much.
Clear the lungs.
Another Canadian is in the chat. Toronto Dave. Shout out Dave. We love you. Even though you're from Toronto. We love Toronto.
At this point, I love Canada more than the U.S. I mean, all of our viewers are Canadian.
It's wonderful.
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm not. We need more viewers.
Some of the nicest folks I've met doing this.
If they didn't live so far apart from one another, they could spread the word and get more Canadians to watch the show.
If only there was a social media platform that you could do that on.
You should market that. Toronto Dave says, yeah, wave the loony flag. Let's go. Connor, what are you drinking? Let's not talk about the Irish triumph at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans because they were the only noteworthy pairing to really make the cut. And the rest of it was a complete crapshoot, which we were lucky to not get a completely unknown pair winning this thing. It was very close to that. But are you drinking something tonight?
First off, the Irish pair, like I didn't talk about them last week, but because I have like extreme fear of missing out on Rory.
I went and I faded them, and that was extremely smart, of course, because I actually beat you because you had them and one other team make the cut and the rest of your team was garbage, and I got 3 out of 6 and ended up beating you somehow by 4 points in DFS because I had 3 instead of 2. It was a gore fest. It was disgusting. 3 out of 6 should never win a DFS head-to-head. So I will probably give that $9 right back to you.
Oh, undoubtedly. Like I'm out for blood this week. But I was going to say, I did have a large share of Rory and Shane Lowry.
Yeah, Connor, what the shit?
Didn't have the right lineup against you. I don't know. Oh, she might be referring to the new digs that are under construction.
Yeah, what the shit, Connor?
portrait mode tonight because it's a little rough up here yet.
His face is in high def and his background is in low def.
I need makeup next time though. I'm realizing
next time you should just do the opposite where the background is in focus and your face is a little blurry.
I can't hide from this light either, so I'm just going to be pasty and pale.
I can see your pores from here. 1080p.
That's disturbing.
It is. The viewers, the viewership is plummeting as we speak.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful! I'm just scaring them off.
Are you drinking? I'm drinking.
I am drinking. I've got a little cookie dough whiskey tonight. Being that we're late, I just finished dinner, so I wanted a little dessert. So,
why am I sticky?
Everything is sticky. Like I just touched my my second computer with all the show notes and literally stuck to the mouse.
His mouse pad stuck to his fingers, and now his mouse pad stuck to his face, and the dog is stuck to his leg because it was like cookie dough whiskey. It sounds good. Why am I sticky? Everything's sticky.
It's okay if it's your dog.
Yeah, it's true. I am, for the spirit of where this tournament is being held, in McKinney, Texas, just north of Dallas, I'm drinking McKenna bourbon from Kentucky. So McKenna 100 proof, aged 10 years, outstanding bottled in bond bourbon. That means that they have a government overwatch on the actual Rick room where these barrels are being aged. And so you have to keep everything by the book. And it provides a very consistent flavor profile throughout all the bottles you buy. You're not going to get inconsistency with this selection. And I'm cracking this thing open right now.
We just had an influx into the area of like a shitload of the Evan Williams single barrels. And I think the oldest bottle I saw floating around out here was about 2005, 2008, something like that. So, and that's a really good one. I've been trying to make time to go get one.
Evan Williams bottled in bond is the best value whiskey you can find.
Unsung hero of the whiskey world.
It is inflation proof because it went from $17 to $22. It's still a good value because it's good juice. That's my whiskey of choice when I go camping up in the mountains. I bring the Evan Williams bottled in bond.
Yeah, that one, or like, I mean, anybody who's watched the show knows that I drink Old Forester like it's going out of style. So
yeah, I'm pretty picky with my OF though. I like the Prohibition style and I stick with it.
1910 for me, or
yeah. They're all good. I'm really religious about how good 1920 is. All right.
Yeah, no argument from me. Oh. But you know, my daily drinker is usually the 80s.
McKenna.
I was trying to.
Good. She smells good, Connor.
I was trying to get a whiff.
Smells woody.
That's just your mustache.
So what if I was just snorting oak barrels? Just throw them in the chipper, and I'm going to snort that oak. What do you say we talk about the CJ Cup Byron Nelson? Are you ready for the Caddy notes drop?
I've never been more excited to talk about a more dull subject in my life.
All right, let's go. All right, Caddy notes after the drop. So Connor, your your background being blurry has inhibited has allowed for Green Screens Media to say, "All my friends are here." Woo! All right, we are gonna go.
I have to get this whole room situation figured out like sooner than later. Like I feel like I'm in like a interrogation room right now.
You look like you are, and the hot lamp on you is like Newman and Seinfeld. Like
if I turn this lamp off, check this out. This is how dark it is if I turn this off.
That's much better.
Do you want me to should I do the rest of the show in this light?
Don't just leave your socks on while you're at it.
All right. We're making executive decisions on the fly. I will be doing it.
Turn it back on. We want to see your shiny face.
Do it.
it goes out of focus pretty quickly when you have it like that.
So
So
bear with me. We'll fix it. We'll get it fixed.
TPC Craig Ranch. Not sure if Craig is known for his ranch. And you're blinking. Help me in Morse code. And yeah, it's just a really weird course for PGA Tour status. It seems more like a Corn Ferry Tour type course. Am I right here? Is it Craig's ranch, like he owns the ranch, or is it his favorite dressing or dip? Who's Craig, and what is his ranch, and why is there a really easy golf course that the PGA Tour visits every single year?
So Craig Ranch, little anecdote. My dad played this course like before anybody even knew what it was, before it was in the rotation. I have a golf shirt from here, and to this day, people are like, when I wear it, they're like, "Oh, where's that?" Like,
McKinney, Texas.
yeah. Which the only reason I know that is because of covering golf. Otherwise, it's unremarkable. But the Byron Nelson's been here the last 3 years, so it's the CJ Cup Byron Nelson TPC Craig, no S, Ranch, McKinney, Texas, par 71, 7,414 yards. We got Zoysia fairways. I believe it's Bermuda rough, bent grass greens. Mm-hmm. To your point, Bo, course plays pretty wide open. It's kind of a bit of a bomber's feast. There isn't much danger or shot
bomb and gouge putting contest, everybody's favorite.
Well, and even worse is the greens are a little bit larger than average. They're super receptive. This place almost is always getting moisture this time of year, so sticking them's pretty easy. So yeah, it's like I said, it's like you just said and I said, it's basically bomb it, stick it close, make your putts. Par 5 scoring is a must. You do have longer than average approaches here, though. So a lot of the guys we've been looking at for the past few weeks that have good approach from like 175 to 200 plus, that still plays pretty nice here.
It plays great here.
But all in all, I think the idea with this place was that potentially it was going to play a little bit more wide open. Wind might get at it, dry it out, make it a little more difficult. But that really truly is not the case.
No, what they should have done was kept the WGC match play, which was also in Texas, and this one could have gone away. But I think CJ Cup being a Korean sponsor, they got lots of money, like big, deep pockets. And that plays a big role in who gets to have a PGA Tour event, not necessarily the golf course it's held at. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a birdie fest. I think because of, you said, weather, there's going to be some moisture in the forecast, passing thunderstorms throughout all 4 days. It sounds like late spring to summer in Texas, honestly. You can expect thunderstorms in the afternoon, expect some hail, rain, wind, tornadoes. You just don't know. Tis the season for that type of weather. It's just unstable. But if we get some moisture here, this course we could see 25 to 30 under par instead of 20 to 25, right?
Well, you definitely could, and that's what's happened the last 2 years. That's why the scores have been 23, 26, 25. There's been enough moisture on what's already moist, unwittingly pretty receptive greens. You add moisture to the equation, you don't get the wind that dries it back out, and it's basically just like I said, sticking them close. And a lot of these guys are good with that approach metric. A lot of these guys that tee it up here are a little shorter hitters, so that 200 plus, they're right at home, and that's I'm guessing 24 is probably the range where I think the winning score will be. Cut's probably going to be around 4 under.
That's easy.
You had J-Day win it last year at 23, and then KH Lee back to back at 26 and 25. So
we're on Panda Watch. I mean, shout out to Anchorman, but we are officially on Panda Watch this week because this dude just happens to love TPC Craig Ranch. It's the site of his only 2 PGA Tour victories.
It's wild too because like he wasn't really in form either year leading in or anything. Not that he ever really is in form.
He's not in form this year, so fire him back up.
Hey, if at this point 66% of the time it works every time.
Right. I mean, seriously. Yeah, let's jump right into it. We talked enough about this very basic tour average length, wide open fairways, par 72. Let's see who we're going to bet on, because where it's different from last week is that last week we didn't have a clue who was going to win because nobody knew anything about anything for the team event in Louisiana. This week we have a lot of guys from favorite all the way to the deep shots that could very well win here with their style of play, fitting this golf course, and their recent form accounted for it. After this Club Twirls drop with Chad, Brad, and Thad, we're gonna get into how to win a shit ton of money off the casinos.
Which one is your favorite?
The one with the derby hat, because he's comfortable in his own masculinity wearing the hat like that.
He's got to be Thad, right?
He's used to being punched in the face, so he's not afraid of it anymore.
We'll let the chat decide.
Yeah. I think it's Chad if we go alphabetical. You have a ficus. Are you Jordan Spieth? There's no trouble off the tee this week. That's Jordan Spieth setting up for his second shot.
There are literally all kinds of treasures up here. Anyways,
what's funny is we're going to talk about Jordan Spieth right off the jump, because betting favorite 16-1 Jordan Spieth. He's a native of Dallas, Texas. He hasn't won this tournament yet, but he's a really decent golfer, right? And I like him for one reason alone. He is really good when there's no penalty for spraying tee shots all over the golf course. Really good.
He is, but I can't trust him. I don't see the value in betting him. I really don't. Like,
this is the longest odds we've gotten on a favorite this entire season, Connor.
Frankly, I just don't. 14 doesn't even seem like good enough odds on him.
I'm still seeing him as 16 on certain books, but you're right about DraftKings. Yesterday was a 16. It's already up to 14. I think if it goes any shorter than 14, I'm off of him, because I like so many guys in that 20 to 30 range that I don't need to bet Jordan Spieth if he's shrinking.
I think with Spieth, my big thing with Spieth is always like, I value the scrambling prowess. I value the around the green magic.
He's the best there is at that. I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't play here, though.
Yeah, you don't need either of them here. So the fact that he's able to spray it off the tee doesn't give him any more of an advantage.
Let me wet your palate here, because there are metrics here that do favor Jordan Spieth. He came in fourth in my model, mainly because total strokes gained 12th, birdies are better gained 3rd, and strokes gained par 5 2nd. That's why I like Jordan Spieth. Of course, his approach has been mediocre for him. He's not terrible, but he's not as good as he has been in years past there. And he's only middle of the pack in driving distance and strokes gained putting. So yeah, if we're just hoping that Jordan stays in play and hits it closer than he has been this season, because the greens are gigantic and he's going to be hitting from sparse rough or fairway either way, he can make a lot of birdies here. And there's something about Jordan Spieth in a scoring contest that is enticing, because this field is not very strong.
I can't fault your logic. And it's
Did
Jordan.
That successfully wet your palate a little bit? Are you interested in Jordan at all? Even a placement bet? I
am not.
Okay.
But I understand. I understand the argument. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I have a lot more interest in really spending on a couple of guys. There's a couple of guys that I'm waiting on.
Shots fired, Royal.
That's what I was bowing to. No, there's a couple of guys that I've been waiting to really spend like a good chunk of change betting.
All right.
Because I was waiting for here. One of them is Siwoo Kim, who at plus 1,600, I just like a hell of a lot better than Jordan. So Siwoo's going to get my money this week over Jordan Spieth. And
I mean, I can't go against him. He's played well here every single time.
And it's not like it's like Siwoo is in good form and has been. I mean, arguably for 18 months now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
And,
look at him, he rated out number one in the field this week in the last 24 rounds for overall tee to green strokes gained.
yeah.
He's bogey avoidance. He's number 8. Proximity ranges. He's in the top 30 in every proximity range that you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And then overall, just shots gained approach over the last 24, he rates 13th in this field. So the big thing with Siwoo that continues to be his Achilles heel really is the putting.
Yeah.
We had a
bad.
we had a brief streak.
141st.
We had a brief streak where Siwoo was like not putting well, but just like right in that flat, maybe
below average is an improvement for him.
So the thing about it though is if you look at him here, you just hope that he putts flat, and if he can putt flat, I think Siwoo's got a real shot at
It's a
actually
big if it's 16-1, my friend. Especially when he's not a bomber. He's one of the shorter hitters on tour.
Didn't
He's
stop
also
him last year. T2.
113th this season, and birdies are better gained in this field. That's where the red flag comes up for me. Because Siwoo, with how heavily I weighted opportunities and birdies are better gained, 113th knocked him down to 82nd in my model. That's gross.
Over the last 24, he's 56th and birdies are better gained, but he doesn't give them back when he gets them. And opportunities gained, he's 21st.
Okay. I'm just playing devil's advocate since you did that with my baby angel, Jordan Spieth.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Any interest in Jason Day, defending champion? It seemed like a kind of a weird win last year where he hasn't been in form the last couple of years. It's not the same Jason Day. We all remember 2017, 2018 Jason Day. He was world number 1. That's how good this guy was. It's not the same guy anymore. He's 20-1, defending champion odds. I'm not on Jason Day. Are you showing any interest there?
No, I can't really make much of an argument. Like he started out the season looking like he was going to have a pretty good season, and it's just been nothing but downhill from there.
Yeah, that once strong short game has not been as strong, and that does not bode well for him.
And he absolutely sucks from anything outside of about 125 yards right now.
Bingo. All right, I have a choice for you at 25-1, Tom Hoge or Steven Jaeger. And I know that there's another guy that we both like at the same odds, but we're going to be unanimous on him, but we need to be able to flip a coin on those two guys. Let me know.
All I got to tell you is I shower in that shit.
In hoagies or Jägermeister?
Jäger
I was going to say you shower in sandwiches? That's incredible.
That explains the smell.
Well, you smell like black licorice. I guess that explains a lot too.
No, I'm gonna be out on Hoge. I think I think the things that Hoge doesn't do well get amplified here. He's not a good driver of the golf ball. Can't putt. So
his putting's so bad.
So we're 100% relying on his approach game, which the longer approach distances actually give him trouble.
Yeah, 50 or 29th, which is by his standards bad. And then overall approach 4th, but the longer distances give him trouble. 117th in driving distance, so he's going to be hitting more of those longer approaches. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's a fade for me. I love Jaeger, and we both love Ben on. We've been on Ben on. We've been on Ben on. This week is his week. I'm going to tag him on Twitter because he's active there. We are rooting for you, Ben. Let's go. Get it. 25-1. That's a smash. Any interest in our ice cold approach man, Minwoo Lee? We love him, but woof.
I do want to say with Ben on just one quick thing.
Go for it.
Talk about Minwoo, but every single week that Ben on's been playing the way that he has, I've said the same thing every week. I prefer Ben on at a place that's wide open with no penalty for missing the fairway, where he can just bomb away.
Mm-hmm.
We have arrived.
And he's 13th in 200-plus approach. He's 3rd in driving distance. Love that bomber, baby. 22nd in birdies or better gained. 31st in total strokes gained. And actually, I'm looking at 109th in putting. That's an improvement for him.
The dice thing is that right now he's 5th in opportunities gained, which means he's sticking it close,
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
8th in birdie or better rate. So
Giving
those
himself
putts are going
chances.
in.
Giving himself chances. Let's go, Ben.
So I got no fears of Ben on. This is the tournament that I've been waiting for the last month. So I am all in on Ben on.
Go.
Okay.
All right. Minwoo, any interest, Minwoo? I know you love Minwoo more than I do. This week, I think approach is just too important.
If this was going to get down and dirty, like if we had a weather report that said it was going to get a little nastier, play a little bit higher scoring, I'd be a lot more in on Minwoo. But we'll be back, but not this week.
No, yeah, this isn't his circus or his monkeys. Let's see here. Tom Kim's getting a lot of steam. I don't get it. He hasn't showed us anything this year. Sungjae's red hot though.
I was just about to ask you, between Tom Kim and Sungjae at those odds,
Sungjae
I'm all Sungjae. Like I don't get the Tom Kim love here.
Well, Sungjae started off so slow this year that we kind of lost track of him, but we forget that he's like 23 and like ridiculously talented. And we're not saying Tom Kim isn't, but what we've seen the last 3-4 weeks is Tom Kim is not at the same level as Sungjae right now. And so Sungjae on a course like this where it's just point, click, shoot, go for the pin, I like his chances. I love Adam Schenk's chances, though. 35-1, number 1 in my model. Adam Schenk, the best name in golf.
So I wrote him up as a fade in DFS, so I'll let you tell the people why they should play Adam Schenk.
It's weird. We're never going to see Adam Schenk at 35-1 ever again unless he starts winning these things. But 6th in total strokes gained, 3rd in approach, 2nd in birdies gained, 5th in 200-plus approach, 10th in strokes gained par 5. He's longer than average off the tee, and he's better than average putting. Every metric in my model is he's at least in the top 50. That's number 1 by a great margin in my model. So he's getting the stat bet this week at 35-1.
Same number, same type of profile in my model as Keith Mitchell, rated out number 1. Number 1 in my model, he was number 2 over the last 24 in tee to green, number 3 on approach, number 2 in opportunities gained, number 5 in birdie or better rate, and then in the top 20 for every other stat in my model, including the long distance proximities that we're looking at for approach.
Where is Keith in mine?
And we all know Keith Mitchell is one of the best drivers of the golf ball on tour.
Not only have to be this week. Everybody's a good driver on this course. That's why.
Yeah, but it's not just the accuracy with Keith Mitchell, and I think that's the undersold part of his game. I mean, he is number 12 in this field for distance. So
no, I get he's great off the tee, but he doesn't have to be. This course erases off the tee issues. Like you just don't have the consequences. So he can pipe it down the middle, and a guy that's piping it on the left side of the fairway is just gonna have as good a shot as he does. It's not an equalizer for me.
Yeah, it's not. But what I'm saying is it's not an advantage, but he doesn't lose anything by being as good off the tee as he is.
So where I filtered it, he's 49th in my model. Not terrible, not great either. 108th on approach overall, and then 101st in putting. That's what knocked him down. The rest of the stats look fine. I'm not saying Kashmir Keith's a bad play, especially when his odds are 35-1 in this field. I like him. I just think Schenk's going to do better.
I'll take that bet.
Let's go Beer Bet City.
Right.
Any interest in 2-time champion KH the Panda Lee? 50-1.
I don't think lightning strikes twice, let alone 3 times. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, his recent form leading into this tournament is actually somehow worse than it was 2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'll be a pass on KH Lee here.
All right, anybody in that 50 to 60 range that you're on? I have a couple guys down at 60, but I'm gonna avoid the rest of that range.
I'll probably go. I'm debating. I like a lot of longer guys. Aaron Rye may find his way onto the card. I'm up in the air. He's playing well.
Why do Aaron Rye when it feels so good to play Doug Gim?
Does feel good to play Doug Gim, and this is another guy. Doug Gim is another dude.
Doug Gim tournament. This is the Doug Gim tournament. He's 60-1
every week, like literally
He hasn't. He
He
hasn't
sends me
been too bad
flowers
for
on
me.
Mondays now. Like that's
Yeah, yeah, and a pack of cigs.
yeah. I mean,
But he annihilates par fives. He's number one in this field in strokes gained on approach. Number 6 on par fives. Yeah, this guy number 7 in total strokes gained. And the odds just don't reflect that. This guy's playing out of his mind this year. He's having a great season. So just because he's having off weeks when you play him doesn't mean he's not having a great season by his standards.
when did he win last?
He doesn't. He doesn't win.
Oh.
Well,
Seems like a good out, right?
This would be a chance for him to win because the field is pretty bad.
No, I was going to say, much like Ben on, if Gim's going to get it done, this would be the week for him to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm not happy to see some of our favorite guys here getting shorter and shorter odds by the minute. Peter Quest, 70-1, was 90 yesterday. Getting a lot of steam. He's playing really well right now. The last month or so, he's Monday qualified into a top 5 finish a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I love Peter Quest. 70-1 is pushing it, though, for me.
Yeah, I just don't know where his game's at. Like, this seems like a course that he should set up really well for, but
he played
really
really well here last year, 14th last year.
He's been all over the map, though. Like
Oh, yeah, he's streaky. He bombs it, and he putts well, and that's about it.
And that's why, like, 71 just seems too short to me. Like, especially when, I mean, even this afternoon when I looked at him, I think he was like 80 or 90.
Yeah, he's 70 now. And number 4 in birdies are better gained in my model. So he's 6th overall in my model right now at the latest thing. I like him. I'm going to play the shit out of him in DFS. Betting him at 70-1 makes me nervous. I'd rather kind of go down to another stripe show, Kevin Yu, who's a better approach player at all distances than Quest is. I like Jake Knapp at 80. He was at 90 yesterday, but he only shortened to 80. His approach game is way better than Quest. And Taylor Pendrith, number 2 in my model. He's burned me all season. So Taylor Pendrith, come on, baby. Show me something. I'm tired of getting flowers in the mail. Number 2 in my model needs to stand for something. And I'm not even mentioning Daniel Berger because he's number 5. He's top 5 in every model I ever run. Even if he's not in the field, he's in the top 5, and he never does anything with it. So we're skipping Berger this week again because Pendrith is the one I'm praying for.
So I'm not on Pendrith or Quest, but I'll be all over Jake Knapp. Jake Knapp, again, is fitting the type of player I'm
big
looking at.
siesta.
There's a theme with the guys I'm targeting, like wide open spaces, long drives, excellent approach, which Jake Knapp rates out 4th in the field over the last 24. And then I'm like 100% in on Team No Putt this week. Like I don't care about putting because these guys are good approach players that bomb the ball, get shorter clubs in their hands, and knock the ball very close. So
yeah, okay. If that's the case, what about our guy Alejandro Tosti from Argentina?
I don't think I'm betting him this week, but I'll play him in DFS. I see the value.
That's the right play, though. Yeah, he's that exact model of what you just said. So yeah, I had to mention him 90-1 if you're a Toasty fan, like
which
I
we
can
are
be on occasion. Yeah, I do dabble in the Toasty. Let's see. Joseph Bramlett fits that mold. His season's been kind of rocky compared to last year where he was stronger. We haven't seen much out of Bramlett. I think Garrick Higo is a good play at 110, but more of a DFS play.
Yeah, DFS play. Higo fits that kind of mold too. I mean, over the years we've tried to get Higo right. He's easier to get right on DFS.
Yeah, he's easier to get right on a dartboard. I know you're going to play our Finnish thick boy Sami Välimäki.
Debating on that actually.
Yeah, he's rating out pretty poorly. He's a fan pick. He's a fanboy pick though. Since his appearance at the Mexico Open, where he was dueling with Jake Knapp, we haven't seen Välimäki do much.
I'm having a minor panic attack because my secondary computer is dying, and I don't think I have my charger up here.
Oh, excellent. Who are your long shots?
So before this dies, and I don't have it in front of me, I've got a lot of interest in Andrew Novak again. We skipped right over him, I think, at 90-1. We were super high on him last week.
Yeah.
Matty Schmidt at 80-1 is right
Deutschland.
around. But yeah, Valimaki was about as deep as I went at 130. I'm going to take a couple shots at Bud Colley, just hoping that he resurrects himself.
We love Bud Colley. I'm going to take some shots at Cameron Champ. Shout out NorCal. Yeah, baby. And that's probably it for me, too. I'll have deep shots like Rico Hoey and DFS. But, yeah, as far as betting on them, no. Well, we didn't talk about our guy, Ryo Hisatsune.
I don't like Ryo here. I don't think he's got enough. I don't think he's got enough gusto to take it down. I think you get.
Don't let him get hot, though. Don't let him get hot.
Decent placement value. Like if you get a top 10 on him with good money, that might not be a horrible bet to do.
Steve Anderson's trying the new products from BigTimeFlavor.co. He got some green envy.
I got to get that order in. That looks delish.
Yep, it's a salsa verde.
Did I see a teaser that there might be a new rub in the lineup?
Mm-hmm. Yep, not out yet because the collaborator that I'm dealing with has not tasted it yet. So I'm gonna let him taste it before I release it onto the site.
Whew.
It's gonna be good though.
Yeah,
Steve says it's legit.
But yeah, to round out the betting part, like I think there's 10 guys that I wrote up in my column this week. Those are the only 10 that are going to make my card. I'm gonna do much more of a buckshot approach in DFS. There's a lot of guys that fit the mold I'm looking for, but as far as going over investing in on the betting side, I probably just go a little bit light this week.
So guess what?
What?
Up until last week, we were both in the top 5 of all the golf analysts on the internets, and Zurich Classic killed us. I know it killed me out of the top 5 because I was hanging on at number 5. You've been number 2 for most of the season, but having both of us in the top 5 of all of the golf experts, if you want to call us that, it's pretty exciting. And I think that we're going to get right back on track this week. Zurich is such a crapshoot. God, I hate that tournament. I'm still bitter that they got rid of the match play and kept the Zurich.
Yeah, for all of our viewers, next year that will be me and Bo's 1 week a year that we take off
vacation.
Zurich.
Yeah, we were both slamming trunks last week. It was a vicious, horrendous trunk slamming extravaganza. We were both tuned into the draft early and often because of it. Let's try not to do it this week in McKinney.
The club is well. This would be a wrestling slam.
All right, Connor's throwing his laptop out the window of his blank office.
I found my charger. We're good.
All right, he ran during the drop to get his charging cord.
God. So I've been doing my day job up here for like about a week now.
What's the call, Blue? Safe.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna set up here. I'm gonna make it work for the show.
Yes.
Poor decision.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the thing. Is last week the one crowning moment for this show was that the hat got into the top 5. And we were making fun of the hat as the hat's dead. They picked Gracerman and Nico for the hat pick. We were like, oh, that's the end of the hat. No, the hat abides. The hat wins and it lives. It keeps on chugging with the darkest horse of all dark horses. The hat lives, and you probably just jinxed it by putting it on your head.
I've worn that thing way too much.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if you can see the top of the hat. The top of the hat actually has a. Nope.
It's a glory hole. So it provides no protection from the sun anymore. We're just it's here for the vibes.
It's here for hot takes, apparently.
All right, so top of the board, who you got here, Connor? Jordan Spieth, 10,900 for Jordan Spieth, 10,400 for Jason Day. Woof. And we were robbed of a chalk fade in Willie Z. Will Zalatoris withdrew today or yesterday, undisclosed reason, probably because still probably just working himself back, getting a little sore. He and Thigala played like trash, which killed both of us. So it was rough to watch last week. So Willie Z out of the field kind of hurts us in a way in DFS because it was somebody that a lot of people would have signed up for that we were probably going to be fading.
Yeah, it's Zalatoris. Like it was in Golf Digest this afternoon. Like sort of doctor's orders to take the week off, like make sure his back is okay.
Especially since it's a movement injury, so giving it ample rest is very important.
So he'll be back. He'll be back in a week or so. No biggie. But yeah, I'll tell you.
Are we both starting with Siwoo Kim?
We are both starting with Siwoo Kim.
That's what I thought. Because the chalk at the top is gross.
I actually have a lot of Adam Scott too. It's an interesting play.
So we got Siwoo Kim. I like Sung Jae. Sung Jae's DFS scoring's not great, but Adam Scott's better. Alex Noren is your stat darling. He makes every cut, but doesn't do much more than that. Min Woo Lee, chalk fade for me, 9,400. And we're both going to be very obese on Ben On and Steven Yeager because that's what we do.
Yeah, right now almost every lineup that I've built has started Siwoo Ben On. So, I mean,
you might want to diversify a little bit.
This is one of those weeks where I'm just so convinced.
Okay. Well, it could go one of two ways.
Yeah, very well or very poor.
Exactly.
No, I like the Steven Yeager.
Steve never wants to see it again.
I can respect that. It was a little more brutal when I put it on air.
Yeah, Tim must have missed the hat being worn because he's still hailing the hat. Tim
has seen the hat in person. And Tim and I were actually, I think we either did a shot or tipped 2 beers back when we saw Echeverria doing what he was doing.
Grazerman's short game was impeccable though, because Nico's bombing it out there and sticking it in there, but Grazerman's short game was so good. I was surprised because we haven't seen much of him on tour.
Before I lose my train of thought, yeah, I think the play up here is probably Sung Jae in terms of pivot. I think he's got the best leverage, and it just depends on how much he trusts that he's kind of back and found his groove. But if you're looking for a leverage play up top, I think that's the one, is Sung Jae.
Yeah, and I kind of skipped down a little bit here. I'm not really interested in Tom Kim. I'm not too high on Kashmir Keith. I'll have a little bit of him. Dietrich, I'm lukewarm on him. Mackenzie Hughes is interesting. Mackenzie Hughes should do well here. Will he do well? He doesn't rate out well for me. What's with Mackenzie Hughes?
Yeah, Mackenzie Hughes is probably not for me. I honestly, in that range, from a rating standpoint, like Keith
Shank.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Keith Mitchell for
and
me.
Shank and Panda are right there below him.
I like Keith Mitchell rates well, and then Mav is rating okay. I'm probably fade on Mav just because
he'd be rated a lot higher if you were waiting putting on there, because Mav puts the lights out.
Yeah, 100% he would, but since we don't care about putting, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird range for me. I'm not super excited to play any of those guys. Keith Mitchell, who I like as an outright, I don't know that I like him at $8,800 in DFS.
No, it's pretty rough. That's a little steep,
especially with the ownership.
Oof. Yeah, and for me, I'm picking and choosing a lot of the same guys we're betting on. Jake Knapp at 8,000 flat is excellent price for him. I have a feeling we're both going to be really heavy on him, and really you can kind of go down farther. Doug Gim 77. We're all of these same guys are getting great values and not a lot of chalk, so that's what we're looking for anyway.
Yeah, Jake Knapp actually was creeping up. I haven't refreshed it lately, but
at 8,000 though, I'm okay with being equal to the field.
Yeah, that's, you don't need much even to be equal to the field. Honestly, he was just kind of getting a little heavy, but
I think it was a 12 or 14%, something like that. I would match him up to 20.
Yeah, I think this is again just like what we've been kind of waiting for.
Yeah. Just like our hit at the Mexico Open. It's a comp course. Vedanta is very similar to this golf course.
Down in the sevens though, I mean, Novak 7,400. Reasonable rostership there. He's at a 7.5, which is about par with everybody in that range.
Kevin Yu.
Yeah, but then it's like Nate Lashley rated okay, Bud Colley.
What about our streaky friend Justin Lauer? Can't figure him out.
I can't either, and he's getting up to being like the chalkiest in that region.
Then yeah, that's fine. That's an easy one. CT Pan with fluff on the bag.
I kind of like CT Pan a little bit.
Me too. Can't quit.
I don't know what to make. See, the problem once you start getting down into the sevens and the sixes here is
we're doing buckshot approach at this point.
These are all lottery ticket guys. I mean, like any one of these dudes can pop up and put it together for this week, and I don't have a strong lean on any of them. I mean, other than you called out Greaserman, has been playing pretty well. He's got low rostership, 7,100. He makes a lot of sense to make things happen up top. Toasty, Matty Schmid, if you can stomach 12% Matty Schmid.
That's gross.
Yeah, I mean, he's another guy this week that the secret's out. Like, I think he's rating out for all the right reasons. So,
and we're both fading Chandler Phillips. This is not his type of golf course. Although we love him, this is not his type. This is not his type of golf course. I'm in on Cam Champ, as I mentioned earlier, and yes, Steve Anderson. Dylan, and Dylan, the 5 best rappers.
I'm gonna need you to go to Queens and get me a sugar cookie.
Dylan Wu is in the field. Shout out Southern Oregon. Dylan Wu is in the field. He is in the player pool. Yes, we are playing Dylan Wu. Woo!
we are playing Dylan Wu. I don't feel as confident about Dylan Wu at this particular course. He's a shorter hitter, but I feel more confident.
No, he's not. He's 29th in driving distance.
297 average. I mean, he's not a long hitter. So
no, but he's well above average. You know who is a long hitter that's right there at the same price? Rico Hoey.
Who's playing really well.
He is. He's hot right now. Hayden Springer, any interest? Justin Suh. That's getting pretty hairy down here.
Valimaki at 7K. I think we've already talked about him a few times. Mm-hmm. Ryan Moore, it's a Texas course. He rates out well here.
God, he hits it like 260 though.
Yeah, I know. He's the anomaly though in my model. Like none of the distance seems to matter. Like he rates out well from the longer approach. Metrics has approach in general has been good. His tee to green, the last 24 rounds that he's played, at least measured, he rates out 3rd for strokes gained in this field. So, I mean, it's not a sexy pick, but he rates out well.
Eric Barnes, Marty Doe, Callum Tarrant.
Kevin Doherty is somebody that I'm looking at 6,400.
Okay, I'm with you.
We've looked at him a few times. He's a bomber. I mean, that's what he is. Yeah. And hasn't put together much on the approach game yet. But the one approach bucket that he does rate out really well in is the 200+ yard one. So
that's good.
We got a bomber who can also hit the longest of irons really well and scores well on par 5s and par 4s. So this could be a really good track for him.
Yep, I agree with that. I'm going to take one more shot at Pearson Coody at 6,200. Just a couple lineups. He's playing awful if you look at it the whole season, but the last month or two he's been better. His other brother Parker, who's more consistent and doesn't have as much talent, they're twins, which is funny because they're their opposite style of golfer. It was Parker that killed them and made them miss the cut last week. So I think Pearson's got the talent to go low here if he finds the right rhythm, which is it showed up more the last month or two. But the first part of the season, Pearson Coody was so bad, so bad.
Yeah, I don't have the Coody itch the way that you do.
That might be true.
Trace Crow is somebody we've talked about, 6,200. That would be the last guy I'd even throw out
It's a murder of Trace Crow.
Anytime somebody does a crow caw, all I can think of is Fight Milk from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
It's made with bits of real crow.
Oh, that's good stuff.
But Trace Crow is somebody who can bomb it. And he's just kind of real streaky. He's a real streaky player on Korn Ferry. He's going to be a hard one to get right. But if you find yourself down here at the bottom like this, you got Kelly Craft, you got Coody, you got Trace Crow. And that's really the only guys that like I would have any confidence.
They're going to make the pool, but not much more. You can't say much more than that.
Yeah.
All right. So who's going to win this thing and the final score?
I'm going to go Ben on at 25.
25. Let's see. I am going to go with, you ready?
Ready.
Steven Yeager at 27.
Ooh.
He's gonna go back to back on the Texas swing. He won the Shell Houston Open a few weeks ago. He's gonna win the CJ Cup Byron Nelson.
First round leader.
I'm gonna go with Ben On.
That's fucked up, dude.
But Ben On is one of the best Thursday players on tour. It's a statistical fact. Like we were making fun of Hayden Buckley last year for being so terrible on Fridays. Ben On's an outstanding Thursday player.
Hayden Buckley's in the field.
I know. He hasn't done shit for us this year, so that was a last year thing. Quit living in the was.
I'm gonna go Kashmir Keith, first round leader.
Woo! He'll be well dressed for it. Not like Jason Day, who will be poorly dressed for it. The hat. All right. Once again, for all who missed out, the hat is completely undefeated. It has never missed a cut. It has never been outside the top 20. And he's going to draw a number, and the number corresponds to the spot in our models. And we'll pull up a golfer. Yeah, let's see. What's the number?
69.
Nice. I don't care who the golfers are.
I knew you'd be pumped.
That's the best hat draw ever.
Carl Yuan.
Hey, let's go, Carl. All right, Carl Yuan is your number 69. Nice. Mine is, oh my God, this will definitely end the streak if we're going off Kevin Tway.
Rated out okay in my model, actually.
Yeah, he's rated 69th in mine.
Well, by okay, I mean I think he was in like the top 50, but
yeah. Okay, Tway.
Dude, Carl Yuan, I might have overlooked this. 11th in driving distance, 26th in tee to green, 17th from 175 to 200 plus.
He's a birdie maker.
Where might have to go back.
I got to look at Carl Yuan in my model now. Where's he at? Carl Yuan. If he's higher on my model, then you know it's true. He's not.
Yeah, I'll give him a second look.
Yeah, he's all right.
But the hat has not completely shit the bed yet, so we'll see.
Carl is 80th in my model. Not bad. Not Kevin Tway.
I think Steve did ask. He missed what we were drinking, so I'm drinking cookie dough whiskey because I had a late dinner and wanted something sweet.
Sticky.
Everything is sticking to me.
And I'm drinking McKenna bottled in bond for
because you're a real man.
Because McKinney, Texas. All right, from Conor Coughlin, I'm Bo McBrayer. Thank you for joining us as always. What's next week? Next week is the Wells Fargo, is it not?
I believe next week is the Wells Fargo.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Is that where it's at?
I think we actually have like real players in that field.
I think it's elevated because it's your last chance to tune up for the PGA.
Yeah, it's in Charlotte, Wells Fargo.
Charlotte, yes. All right.
Quail Hollow.
Great golf course. Great.
I was gonna say that is one of our more favorite ones to talk about.
Yeah, I have a client who lives on the 14th hole at Quail Hollow, which is always a great talking point.
I think what I hear you saying is we're going to North Carolina.
on Charlotte. Join us next week for the 19th hole. Cheers.